Brighter Side Show. I'm your host, Jamie Butler, the Everyday Medium. And I am so grateful to be here back in the studio with Leigh Mallis,
Thank you.
our yogi, our Kundalini yogi. But before we get into what Leigh is going to offer us, some housekeeping notes. If you want to know about the public channelings, the dates, topics, when it's happening, please check out our website, jamiebutlermedium.com, as well as class dates, courses, and events. Everything that I'm doing is on jamiebutlermedium.com. That is the one place that you can go. So thank you guys so much for staying engaged and sending us your comments. We love to hear your show ideas. We love to know what you're going through. Please put the fingers to the keyboard and let us know. And now, without further ado, Leigh Mallis. And guys, you can find Leigh at leighmallisyoga.com, and that is Leigh. I laughed if you've seen the episode before this. That is the only way to spell Leigh.
The proper
which
way.
is not, yes. But that's the way that my middle name is spelled as well. Mm-hmm. And she has an Instagram account, which is Pranic Soul, at Pranic Soul. So guys, check it out. Come on. Let's build that community, Lumineers. Bring it in. Let's get into it. This one I'm really excited about. Not only can you see that we are on the floor at the studio, but you can see our grass. Jesse, the producer, really was nice. Just cutting it earlier. I mean, he's done a really nice job. So, Leigh, you have been teaching Kundalini Yoga for 17 years.
Yes.
Right? And you mentioned you've been in practice for over 20.
Yes, it's hard to believe.
This is yesterday. Just happened.
Yes. Overnight, yeah.
So Kundalini Yoga was the first yoga experience that I came across. I shared a little bit about it before, but it was an experience that was unlike. Now that I can compare the different styles of yoga. Wait, can you just name off a few different styles of yoga? Because it really is a foreign language.
Sure, absolutely. Well, Kundalini Yoga is what we're here to talk about today.
Yes.
I also practice Ashtanga Yoga, and then forms that blend off from Ashtanga Yoga would be Vinyasa Yoga. And in the Vinyasa Yoga world, you have Power Yoga and Iyengar and Anusara, Vini Yoga, Kriya Yoga. There's lots of different styles of yoga, and now more people are opening up their second chakras and becoming more creative with different branches of yoga. There's Bikram and Hot Yoga. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried that once.
That really hot yoga.
Amazing, but at the same time, I was like, I don't know if I can have a practice of this.
Right. Constant dehydration is how I feel.
Oh my God, yes. That's kind of how I was seeing it too.
But all yoga is amazing. And for me, I just think it's fabulous that it's so much more common or mainstream now, and that the more people that get into any form of yoga, they're only going to further develop their awareness of themselves, and then it might further develop them into a meditation practice or to searching out other kinds of yoga. But I do feel that all of yoga is amazing. I love many different kinds of yoga.
Okay, so can we get rid of some of the concepts that people might have when you practice yoga? Mm-hmm. Do you have to change your whole lifestyle?
No.
You don't?
No. The yoga will, you start yoga. Most people, or some people, start a yoga practice because it's very physical, or it can be very physical, and they show up on the mat for the physical aspects. And through the practice, it naturally allows you to go a little deeper into yourself, which just from going deeper into yourself, you'll start to find layers of yourself. Mm-hmm. And then those changes automatically start happening in your life because your awareness around the way that you're operating within your body and in your relationships and in your community, you just start to become aware of all that you're doing, and you might start to make shifts, but it's not a requirement.
Yeah,
yoga does not require you to do that, nor is yoga a religion.
So you don't have to believe in yoga.
You don't have to believe in yoga.
Okay, that's kind of neat. I like hearing that. I mean,
you could show up every day and approach it as a physical practice and receive incredible benefits, because there are scientific physical benefits that everyone can benefit from. The deeper spiritual side that yoga gives you the opportunity to explore is completely up to the person if they want to go in that direction. But the physical benefits are, you're going to receive the physical benefits no matter what. So it's that deeper side that resonates with me, that I love to share. But you can still come to any of my classes and also receive an incredible physical experience.
And all of these classes are listed on her website, guys.
Yes.
And she even does private lessons. And she does it in her little, like, hug of a studio in her backyard, which is like, it's incredible. You feel it when you walk into the space.
It's really
great.
special. It's special.
Okay. Do you have to be healthy, physically healthy, to do yoga?
No. You can show up. Yoga meets you where you are. Krishnamacharya, one of the first people to really bring the yoga to even the main teachers who everyone knows. So like Pattabhi Jois, Iyengar, they were all students of Krishnamacharya. And his way of teaching was that yoga meets the student where the student is. So yoga can change for the student. The student doesn't have to change for the yoga.
Awesome. I will be that example today. 'Cause hopefully I'm going to get Leigh to show us some examples of Kundalini Yoga.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned before it was my first experience of it. And what I love so much is that it spoke to my energy, spoke to my energetic field. I could stay in tune with my chakras. I could stay in tune with my breath better than any other practice that I had at that time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite things about Kundalini Yoga is that almost all of the exercises are done with your eyes closed. And in our society and in our lives, there's not a lot of activities that we get to go into in a conscious awake state with our eyes closed. So we are always inundated with visual experiences,
I
right?
tried it once when I was driving and it didn't go well.
Not good to do while you're driving for sure, but maybe at the stoplight. So it just, it gives the practitioner an experience of the inner self and not worrying about a mirror or not worrying about how you look in a pose. And it takes away that expectation of the physical look of the deal, right? And so you have this different experience, and that's why you felt the energy, because you were closing your eyes and going within. And a lot of the focal point, there's a lot of different dristis, which are gazing points within Kundalini, but a lot of it is to that third eye point, the sixth chakra, which is all about our intuitive self, that self that's been with us.
And that's attached to the endocrine system, the
the master gland of the body.
Which is dictating the production of hormones, secretion, or non-secretion of the rest of the gland body, which is exciting.
The balance, right?
Yeah. But I was just having an aha moment when you were talking, like you spoke right to me. You're like, yeah, because when you close your eyes, you have different gazing points. I like that. But you're right. We only close our eyes when we go to bed.
Right.
Or we take a nap.
We're shutting down. But the thing in Kundalini is you close your eyes, but you're not going to sleep. You're actually waking up. So you're looking in and you're paying attention. And there's so much. The thing that people do not understand is the vastness of the inner self. Like when you start to meditate and you close your eyes, it is unbelievable how much space and how much is going on inside. And if we never give it attention, and then it just starts to overwhelm.
I was about to ask you if people take on a yoga practice where the eyes are closed, we're going to stay engaged because we're actively moving. So we're not going to close our eyes and go to sleep. Will it help us translate the close the eyes to meditate? Because a lot of my Lumineers, when they talk about meditating, they're like, yep, I ended up with the best nap ever. I woke myself up snoring.
Well, another cool thing that I love, especially for people that are like, doers, a little bit, maybe some type A people, maybe, like that like to get things done. I love Kundalini Yoga meditations because they're usually active. So you've got a mudra, you've got a movement, you have a breath pattern, you have a mantra. So mudra is something we're doing with our hands, right? And all of the fingers represent different things. These are Kundalini teachings, okay? So the thumb represents the ego, right? The personality, the person that's in this body, right? The index finger represents the planet Jupiter. This is like the wisdom, the knowledge. So this is the most common mudra that you would see in a meditative posture.
Yes, we see that a lot.
The middle finger, funny enough, is your Saturn finger for patience. Isn't that funny? Kind of funny.
Are you about to flip us off?
Patience.
This patience.
It's patience.
I'm going to use that finger quite differently these days.
Right? And the fourth is your sun finger. Your ring finger is your sun finger, and this is connected to your vitality and your sun energy. And the fifth is your Mercury, the planet Mercury, for communication. So sometimes I'm like, pick one, and everybody's like, "Ma," they want to do it all.
Wait, so Jupiter, Sun, Saturn, Mercury, do they relate as well, the same definitions in astrology?
I don't know the answer to that, but maybe.
That might be really cool to find out.
And there's also days of the week. I'd have to review my notes on like days of the week. There's certain days that connect more with certain, and I think that would be related absolutely to astrology as far as like what the power days of the certain days of the week are. And there's a bunch of other points on the hand, but that's sort of where the mudras are coming from.
So
mudra, and then we have angles. So it's very scientific with the angles because someone asked, why do we only sit on the left heel and reach forward for the right foot with that one exercise? We didn't switch sides. Well, it's because we were energetically creating an angle which was connecting us to the heart for that particular exercise.
Dude, and this, when it happens in class, reminds me of polarity. It reminds me of the meridians, acupuncture points.
Yes.
Like there are some really strong similarities in there. They're
Absolutely.
not absolutely alike, which
Right.
is great because having different practices energizes different things.
Absolutely.
But
And when you said meridian, it makes me want to take it to the next thing that Kundalini uses is vibration, sound current. It is the science of the nod. Nod means sound. So we use mantra, which, to break it down, mantra is mental vibration. Mantra is something you're saying. Mantra could be peace. Mantra could be Satnam. It could be anything. It's a sound current. And we use the repetition of the sound current to create a vibration or a resonance that stimulates the meridians in the upper palate of your mouth, which are connected, 84 meridians in the upper palate of the mouth that connect to the hypothalamus, thalamus, and everything that's up here in this noggin, this brain. And that is where we elevate and make changes by the vibration and the resonance. So you add that with the mudras and with the body positions and the breath, and you are definitely going to leave feeling altered.
You're going to communicate to some energies that you haven't met before.
Right. And, we talk a lot about chakras in Kundalini Yoga because, again, that energy and that vibration, the practice itself gives you an opportunity and experience to pay attention to your own energy and where you might be blocked, right? Because the idea in life is balance. We are never going to stay balanced. That's why we have tools. Like if you just, I'm balanced, I'm good. Like no way. Like we're always going to be pushing the edges and, doing too much and doing too little and not, then you find balance.
I have a sick humor joke where I tell my students, if you're straight up balanced, you flatlined.
Right.
The game's over.
Right.
You don't need to practice it anymore. You're not here.
Yeah.
So it is this real nice ebb and flow. So I like the way that you explain it. You're always pushing the limits here.
You're pushing the limits. You're seeking those moments of balance which bring clarity, which is sort of when you can get into that space of the neutral mind. But it's life. We're on the planet Earth. We have so much going on. And again, going back to why I'm so excited that so many people are doing yoga now, Kundalini was the first yoga you and I ever got to experience. I didn't even know if there was other yoga.
Yeah.
But now that the other types of yoga, they're not easy, but they're approachable, right? And so it's becoming more common, and then more people are going deeper. And by deeper, it means just more awareness, and then they're wanting to raise their energy. And that is going to have an effect on communities and the energy of the city.
Oh, God,
and
yeah.
just,
Your workspace, your relationships.
Absolutely.
Even your relationship to sleep, your relationship to food.
Right.
I remember when I started, practicing yoga, Kundalini, I didn't really have a teacher per se. I got handed a cassette tape.
I love the cassette.
And I'm going to find it for you.
You need to find it.
And a piece of paper that was folded up and hand-drawn to show me what the positions need to look like.
Right.
And I thought, God, this is the strangest thing ever, and I love it so much.
Yeah.
But in the practice of it, I did change the way that I ate, and I slept better, and my psychic clarity through the day of knowing, hey, this is mine and that's yours.
Right.
That became much more clear. I could define it better.
Right.
And I noticed when I would fall away from that practice, I was back in the soup.
Yeah.
Everybody's ingredients and everything was all around and everything, and I couldn't just peel away from it.
Right.
So for me, really helped.
And it's like if you think of like a wheel, and like the true self is the center, and then there's all these spokes off to the side in the world, and the chaos of the world is like this. But if you stay connected to the center, then you're just in the middle in that space, and everything's happening around. So you can either go out into the spoke and be thrown around with the world, right? And just like be reactionary, or I know you're really about intuition. So it's like, or do you develop your sensory system, become more intuitive, and be less reactive and more proactive to sort of like make changes and set yourself on a trajectory in life that you want, right? That you want.
Yes. Thank you.
And for some of us, it takes a long time to realize that, like, I've been living a life that was for other people. And then you have this awakening that you're like,
I was about to say.
I think it's time for me to like figure out what I want, right? Because when you figure out what you want, we all want to be loved, and you have to love yourself first. And so once you love yourself and deal with yourself, which is part of that closing the eyes and going in,
yes,
then you can also open up to the rest of the world. It sounds selfish in the beginning, but it's actually very important.
It's self first, not selfish.
Right, self first. I love it. Self first, and then you have the capacity. Recently, just listened to a podcast. Can we mention a podcast?
Oh yes, please.
Oh my gosh, this
We
was
love
like
getting into
this
stuff.
just happened. By the way, this is like current time. One of my favorite podcasters is Rich Roll. He does an amazing podcast where he interviews people in many, many, many different fields of work, but they're all doing something cutting edge and amazing and for the better of the world.
Oh, good.
He interviewed one of my favorite Kundalini yogis, Guru Singh, who is, his name is Guru Singh.
Your energy is so exciting right now.
Excited. Seriously, the first time I ever met Guru Singh, I fell in love from afar. I was just like, who is this being? I love him. He is an old musician, was friends with Janis Joplin and with Jerry Garcia and all the people. If you listen to the podcast, you'll know they used to have to vouch for him at parties because everyone thought he was the narc. He never ever like dipped into that wild scene. He's always been this pure like Kundalini yogi man.
He was
But the point is, what I loved how he described Kundalini yoga, and it was that it helps you to increase your bandwidth. Isn't that an amazing way of putting it? It's like, here we are, living this life, doing all these things, and we get tapped out. But with Kundalini Yoga, you strengthen your nervous system, you strengthen your awareness around how you're spending your energy, you know how to manage your energy better, and you increase your bandwidth. So like for me, meditation allows me to handle everything I'm already doing in a calmer, stress-free way, and then I have the bandwidth, I'm going to use his words, to add more. Like if I want to, it could be more naps, or it could be more time to research amazing vegan, like gluten-free, dairy-free recipes, which take so much time.
You mean the ones that taste really good?
Yes,
yeah,
the ones that taste really good.
I love this. We had touched base before in another episode.
Yes, that was fun.
Where we got to know how Leigh found Kundalini and kind of what it provided you. And you mentioned meditation, discipline, small Kundalini motions for like 3 minutes that could change your life. And our viewers and our listeners, I love you so much, Lumineers. You guys are always asking, what is out there? What's good? What can help me increase my intuition? Jamie, what do you do? Well, I do Kundalini every morning. I have 3 specific ones that I do. Mm-hmm. And I was showing Leigh beforehand. I was like, this is Kundalini, right? Like, this is what I do. And she was like, oh, yeah, that's a warm-up, and that's a this, and that's a...
Uh-huh, absolutely.
And I was like, oh, my God, it's so great. Because, again, cassette tape, folded up piece of paper. And I was wondering if you could show us some short clips or tips or things that you adore that kind of help intuition and awareness.
Absolutely. I would love to. I think that we are at a time and space on the planet, not just in America, but all around the world, that there's a lot of, some would call it crisis. Like there's a lot of things that are sort of happening. And in my yogi mind, I think it's part of the process of waking people up So I'm not saying that it's not for reason, right? It's we're waking people up. We're moving into the Aquarian age and we're going to make changes. But with that, a lot of people are starting to experience anger.
Okay, stop right there. When you say moving into an Aquarian age, what do you mean by that? Because we might have some listeners who don't connect to that.
We came from a Piscean age, which is really more about like,
these are the astrological signs.
Astrological signs, and I just know it through the teachings of Yogi Bhajan, where the Piscean age, that was really like our parents' age, and they were doing the best they could, and like really, it was more about like what you had. It's kind of like this ladder climbing, sort of what you have is most important, what you know is really important. Now we're moving into the Aquarian age, which is also coinciding with the technology age. So now we can know anything at the blink of an eye. So it's almost
Thanks,
like
Google.
sensory overload, right?
Siri.
So now Aquarian age is not about what you have, but who you are, and developing your sensory system to become more intuitive so that you can decipher what to pay attention to and not go crazy. Like it's overwhelming the amount of things that are coming at us.
Right, and this is a universal explanation.
Universal.
This isn't just like,
Universal.
hello, United States.
This is everywhere.
The whole.
We need to find a practice that will fine tune us to be sensitive enough to know where to put our energy, how to protect ourselves, because it's only like the speed of things is not going to slow down. It's only going to keep going, which is like instead of like holding on and being pulled with it, it's like step back and sit down and go within and figure out how to manage yourself.
I've noticed that, and in some of my readings that I do, people are asking, what can I do? What can I do? How do I solve that? And some of the spirits are saying, sit down. Don't do anything.
Do less.
Yeah. And they're trying to say that's an action as well.
Right.
In fact, it's probably a harder action for you to do. It's not
So
about
think
going.
about balance, right? Like Newton's third law, like for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if things are going, then we need to learn how to, balance it out.
We'll get back into it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're going to share with us about the anger?
So fist of anger. I don't love the name because it's like, it makes you feel like you have to be angry to practice it.
What would you rename it then?
I would name it the windshield wiper for your auric field. We would clean it up.
That reminds me of something like this.
Well, it's like this. So we're going to do it.
We are.
Now, within this, if you guys that are watching have never done Kundalini Yoga, to start a Kundalini Yoga practice, we always tune in. Again, it's using that sound vibration as the mantra to sort of enter us into our practice. And really what it is that we are bowing in reverence to our higher selves.
Oh, nice.
So it's just that true self that's within that we're trying to find. We're saying this mantra as a way of like saying, okay, it's your turn to come up and be part of this.
Now, when you were mentioning mantras before, you said the word Satnam.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Satnam means truth. And so, like, whenever I'm at Kundalini Yoga camp for summer solstice, you just say Satnam to everybody, like, hello. Satnam, Satnam. And when I leave, I just want to keep saying Satnam to everyone. Truth is your identity. It's kind of like how you say Namaste. The light within me sees and respects the light within you. And you bow to that. That's Namaste. Satnam is sort of the same thing. Truth, you are truth. We're all truth. We want to bow to that truth within.
Oh, I love that.
And then you could say Satnam Ji, which is like, you're my friend. G-J-I. Satnam Ji. That's more like a devotion to like, oh, I love you. In the same sense that I'm seeing your truth, it's like a little more love to the Satnam.
I love it. There's in a Native American, and I apologize, I don't know under what tongue this is, but a homatakwasi.
Oh, wow.
It's the I lay all that I have at your feet.
Wow.
All my relations to everything that I have, I lay at your feet.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much I'm
That's cool.
giving to you.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
Namaste.
Namaste.
G.
I love it.
Namaste G.
So to tune in, the mantra is Ong Namo. Ong, O-N-G.
Ong.
Namo.
Namo.
Guru.
Guru.
Which, guru means bringing anything from darkness into light. So just to break off on gurus, I have a lot of gurus in my life. I have my fashion gurus and my music gurus and like everybody, like, you know, because again, we need our community. Like, I don't have time to know everything. So I have my people that I respect and that they kind of bring the light for these things that they are good at, right? So I have lots of gurus. So Ong Namo, Guru Dev Namo.
Sure,
Bowing to your higher wisdom. Okay? Now for you at home, if you're not comfortable chanting and you're alone because it's weird to make this sound, you can simply bring your hands to your heart and just say it. Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. 3 times.
We learn as we go.
Yes. And for today's purpose, we'll just say we tuned in. Unless you want to really...
Oh, I would like to hear it.
Okay, let's do it.
Lumineers, you want to hear it, right?
Okay. So
I might
like
stay silent so I can really hear you.
So
Lumineers, when
you can
you're
do it. I
listening to the
have
tape.
that southern part of me. I like to draw out some of the sounds because it creates, again, we're creating the sound vibration to resonate.
How many meridian points?
84.
That's amazing. 84.
A lot going on. Then you think about, what am I saying all day long? What am I putting into those meridians? What am I saying?
God. And what vibration qualities are you creating all day long with your words and your thoughts?
Mm-hmm. We could keep going. Okay. All right. So let's bring it to the palms to the heart. Take a deep breath in. Exhale all the breath out.
Oh, through the nose.
Yes. Inhale. Exhale. Eyes at the third eye point. So you're just looking up to your brow. Inhale deeply. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Bring your thumbs to the third eye and just set an intention. And we'll exhale, bring the hands down. So just by using that sound vibration and that mental focus, you can already sort of feel
hot
energy.
I started sweating. I was just saying the words in my head. It wasn't even mantra.
So it's awakening, yes.
Yeah.
So for Fist of Anger, we take the ego thumb and place it on the Mercury mound, so the pad of the pinky finger, and then we make a fist. And then the motion is from the third chakra, which is at the navel point, and we're going to sweep the arms up and over, alternating over the crown chakra and back. So third chakra is the solar plexus, and this is where we balance out commitment, willpower, and is also where we hold anger. So it's sort of like you're pulling the anger out and you're throwing it over the head and away. And the breath is through an O, right? And you want to pump the cheeks. Did my cheeks pump? Yeah, good. Just like that. O breath, pump. And then we're going to alternate with the breath.
And what about for people with injured shoulders?
So injured shoulders, that I would say go only as far as you're not going to injure, but in your mind's eye, imagine the arm is going over.
All the way back.
Because Kundalini Yoga does you do a lot of things that are a little bit difficult for people to get into, and I always say get into it as far as you can without the pain of like injury, and visualize, because you don't want it to go. You don't want that anger to go into your third eye.
No.
You want it to go over.
That's right.
So mentally going over. And we're going to do it for the purpose of today, just like 1 minute, but 3 minutes. You can do it anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes. And in the end, we're going to interlace the fingers and stretch all the way up and hold the breath. Okay?
1 minute is going to feel like 5 minutes.
Right. This is when you realize the length of 3 minutes and why it does affect your electromagnetic field. The eyes are focusing right in here. Again, master gland, pituitary, seated intuition. And give yourself a little space, because when you hit your hands, it hurts. Like, if you accidentally hit your knuckles, it kind of hurts.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So just straight spine and begin. Now you actually keep going, about the thing that is creating anger in your life. So if it's a little overwhelming, or there's too much, or you can't think about it, then you use the mantra mentally, sa, ta, na, ma, which means infinity, life, death, rebirth. Sa, ta, na, ma. Or think of the thing and let it go. Keep going. Power the movement and the release with the breath. Inhale and interlace your fingers and stretch your arms all the way up. Now stretch really high, engage Mula Bandha, which is just lifting your pelvic floor, squeeze your navel point, imagine all the energy going to the top of the head, keep your arms here, and exhale. One more inhale. As if you could lift off the ground, move everything up, eyes up, tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth, and exhale, let your arms sweep down. So imagine 3 minutes, right? Energetically.
Can you see the sweat?
I can see the sweat. So I do this every day. I love to start my classes with that, because anger gets in the way. The hardest transition of our energy from the lower chakras is to go from third to fourth. These are all earthly planes. So you get that anger out of the way, and sometimes it's from incarnations. There could be an old samskara, latent impression from long ago that we're not even aware of, that's sort of in there. So this is just like that satanama, that just allows your consciousness to go in and bring it out. And then we just move up to the higher centers, because really this is where we want to start opening up these centers to live from.
It's so
here.
interesting. When I look at people's energies, I find most of the time you're talking about this difficult jump. I see people having a hard time clearing out what's in their chest. Like, you call it letting go, flushing it out, cleansing. I can see people dumping things from other chakras, like getting rid of them. And but when it's here, it's almost like somewhere along the line we got taught to keep it.
I think that would probably be where the next from the heart is the throat. And if the throat is blocked, it's like denial, and not able to speak your truth.
Right.
So the Satnam is like that Satnam of like, move here and then speak. Speak.
See, my shoulders feel pretty good. I was like trying not to be a little timid or afraid about using them, because you don't want to re-injure anything.
Right, absolutely.
But like as I got going, my shoulders are like, we're heated up all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how fast you heat up.
Do we have time for one more something? I don't know. Are we?
I would love that.
So speaking of heat.
We're about to really get
a very common breath that we love to use in Kundalini is called the breath of fire.
Oh,
And so all of yoga talks about tapas, right? One of the ways to help you on the ladder of yoga, right? If you're going into that deeper space.
You lost me with tapas. I got hungry.
Tapas. I know. I'm hungry too. But tapas is heat.
Okay.
So the heat in the body, we create heat with an ujjayi breath or with this movement we were just doing. The breath of fire really creates that heat. Now, the only time you do not want to do breath of fire is if you are pregnant or if you are having the heaviest day of your cycle, because it's just a lot of activation of the third chakra, and it's just you want to keep all that calm when you're in either of those places.
Wow.
So otherwise, breath of fire all the way. So if we're doing something with breath of fire and you are pregnant or having your cycle, you just do long, deep breathing.
Jessie, are you pregnant?
Not anymore.
Not anymore? Okay. We're all good here to practice breath of fire.
Right. So breath of fire is it takes usually the practitioner a little bit to get into the rhythm of it, because It's a pace, not a race. And it's a navel point pumping, but you focus on the exhale to make it work. So if you want to like kind of pant, but then close your mouth. And then it can be like less intense and more fluttery, right? Like, that's for someone, it feels like there's a pace, right? Yeah. So very common pose in Kundalini Yoga is Ego Eradicator. Yeah. Ego Eradicator.
Does it have anything to do with thumbs?
It does.
It does?
It does.
Okay.
It's like this, right? So you're extending your arms out 60 degrees. The thumbs are up and the fingers are trying to touch the pads. So it's not a fist, but the fingers are out like this. Now, what these thumbs are doing is creating an arc line over the head. So you can sort of start to get in touch with the energetic field of this connection between thumb to thumb. And you'll become aware of the energy around your head, which your arc line is here, right? And the arc line is connected to your subtle body, which in Kundalini Yoga is the 9th body. And when we clean up this arc line, it's like the steering wheel to your aura.
I love that.
It's like what attracts opportunities to you. So we're sort of using this breath of fire. We're using this. Mm-hmm. And now Yogi Bhajan, this is very cool. He said, and I have to say it the way he said it because I don't know how it is for men, but for women, when we are in our strength, when we are balanced, when we are clear, our aura can extend up to 9 feet.
Oh, I would believe that.
Yeah. So you could
gosh,
see this, right?
Yes. Joy. People enjoy.
Yes.
Their energetic fields are
like,
beautifully huge.
Right.
And not thin or anything. I mean, it's thick body alive.
Yeah. And so for that, it's like to let people know, to let their mind expand beyond the skin. So I usually like to say, when you are here, the arms might shake, because 3 minutes like this until you've gotten used to it is a lot. We're just going to do like around a minute.
30 seconds with injured shoulders.
So, people, their arms start coming down, and it is really hard. But I'd like to say, like, if you can lock in and get over the physical, right, you're training your nervous system to stay put, and then let your mind go beyond the structure of your body. Think 9 feet beyond you with this movement and with this breath. So let's try it. Eyes are not always, but are here.
My energy is about to tickle Leigh Mallis.
So let's extend the arms.
By Leigh Mallis.
And we're going to sit up tall because we want a straight spine for the Kundalini energy. And then we'll just begin breath of fire. Again, a pace, not a race. Becoming aware of the energetic connection between the thumbs, the arc line, and the energy above the head, and expanding not just in the front side of your body, but also aware of the energy that goes behind you. Inhale. As you inhale and hold your breath, just straighten your arms and bring your thumbs to touch over your head. When you touch your thumbs, extend all your fingers up. Keep stretching, keep reaching. Now keep your arms here and exhale. Inhale. The end of the exercise is when we get to practice consolidating our energy and lifting it from the base of the spine upward. I like another lock of the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. And exhale, sweep your arms down through the aura to the ground. And that was Breath of Fire with Ego Eradicator.
That's so great.
And what does that mean, eradicate ego? Become limitless, right? Like expand beyond like our ego. Like we tell ourselves a lot, I can never do that. Oh, I never. Or sometimes our ego thinks we can do everything.
That's usually, I think, the way our culture thinks
right.
it. But which is
how did that feel?
I'm all warm in my belly.
Mm-hmm. So I teach my children, speaking of warm, it's like if they're cold, if we're ever without the sweater, now this weather is so strange here. It's like if you're cold, if you're on the ski slopes even, breath of fire. Do breath of fire. These are our tools.
People are like, are you hyperventilating, ma'am? Are you okay?
Are you okay? But this is like Kundalini yoga of awareness is also like the householder's yoga. Like we are living in the real world and we're alive, and these are tools that we can use to change our energy on the spot.
Oh, Lumineers, and there are dozens and dozens.
So many.
Of other things that align with different parts, not just the ego eradicator. I mean, this is, again, you guys ask, what kind of practice do I add to reach a certain intuitive goal? I would definitely put Kundalini in the pot.
Absolutely.
Put it in the jar, look at it, research it.
Great tools.
Head to LeighMallisYoga.com. And if you're in Atlanta, you can have classes. You teach classes.
My Kundalini yoga class is on Wednesday mornings
morning.
at 9:30, and I'm actually using the Yoga Samadhi studio in Inman Park now. So it's not on their website. I just sort of run the class from the studio, but it's an absolutely beautiful space. It feels so good in there. And we can fit, like lately it's been about 30 people are coming on a 9:30 a Wednesday. It's like, it's sort of like, I call it like the reset button. It's like if you just get that Wednesday reset and you'll know if you miss it. You know, it's sort of like, it's a great community of people that are all there. And when you get into a group with that vibration, so it's one thing to chant on your own, but then you add 30 people chanting and hearing that vibration, it adds to it. And we actually use one other mantra to tune in more than we did that's called the protection mantra. So we create this sacred space, we create this protection, and everyone feels comfortable to close their eyes and go within, and they're right next, they might be this close, but you're having your experience, right, and I am having my experience, but as a whole, we're experiencing a vibration together. And it's very magical. People like leave elevated, and that is the point.
Do you ever get to the point where you're like, no, please, are you sure you're safe enough to drive?
Yes.
Can I have your keys?
Yes.
Like, sit down,
it's like
please,
when I
let me
first
get
started
some tea.
teaching this, way back when, I would serve tea after. And the classes would be like an hour and a half long. Like, again, now, you know, yoga classes are 1 hour. Like, so it's like we used to feel like we had more time. Now we have to make the time, right? We have to make the time. And so the class is an hour and 15 minutes, which is difficult. I like to get a lot in because I'm like, oh, we're here. Let's do this. Like, got to get started. I got a lot to share. And so, yeah, after I'm like, just go slowly. Don't rush.
Can you see all the ideas happening in your head right now? Lumineers?
Yeah.
I'm going to be in touch with you, Leigh.
I hope so. I hope so. This is so fun. Thank you for having me.
Namaste. Satnam.
Satnam.
I'm learning so much. I love everything that you're doing. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. And we love everything you're doing, and keep doing it.
Oh, I'm going to squeeze her hard when the cameras turn off. Remember, Lumineers, it's not woo-woo. It's
true.
It is. It's not woo-woo anymore. This is all true.
Yeah.
And thanks for being here to support it.
Absolutely.
Bye, Lumineers.
The lighter side with Jamie. The lighter side with Jamie. The lighter side with Jamie.